What's up, Magic Lovers? So today I have an excellent trick tutorial for you. It's sort of a like faux gambling routine demonstration, and it's pretty awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll the clip so you can see how this is performed, and then we'll go step by step on how this trick works. So I'm gonna attempt to demonstrate why you never play poker with a magician. Before we start any game of poker, got to get the cards a little bit of a shuffle. And we don't need all the cards, just gonna play five hands. So I'm gonna get rid of about half the cards, and the rest we'll give them a nice little shuffle. And deal them down, give them a shuffle, deal them down, give them a shuffle, deal them down, give them a shuffle, and so on and so forth, right? Just so everything's nice and mixed up. I'm going to go ahead and lay out 5 hands. All right, get rid of the rest of those here. I have 5 hands of poker. And I'm going to see which hand is best. Now, if you don't trust me, I don't blame you. So I'm gonna mix everything up again and start over because probably don't trust me since I'm a magician, so I'll go ahead and redeal the cards. That way you don't think I'm cheating, man. Now that seems pretty fair. I'd say that seems pretty fair. We have 5 hands of poker. We cut the deck, shuffle the deck, cut half the deck off, shuffle the deck again, dealt out the 5 hands, then put the 5 hands back together in a mixture and dealt them again. This is the fairest thing you could possibly have. Would you bet on any of these hands versus the magician's hand? Boy, I'll tell you one thing. If you did, be a fool. All right, so the secret to this trick is you have a little bit of a setup on top of the deck. And what I'm talking about here is these cards here. Your Royal Flush and Aces, all right? So you're gonna have those just sitting right on top of the deck. Now, as you saw I did in the performance, I had about half the deck cut over. So here's what you're gonna wanna do. Swing cut about half the deck, right? And then slam the other top in performance, if you're performing live, slam this on top. Then you got a what's called a step here. Then you're going to use that step to create a thumb break, just like this. And once you get that thumb break, you transfer to a pinky break, and now you're back in dealing position with a pinky break. And once you get in this position, then you can do a false cut where I take a couple of packets off like so and cut everything back on top. Now we're still in this position where we have our little setup here right on top of the deck still, right? And once we have these cards back on top of the deck, we're then going to go into a false overhand shuffle where I'm going to peel off 1 card at a time until we get to 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then the rest can be shuffled like a regular overhand, leaving our stack of 5 cards directly on the bottom. Now at this point in the routine, what we're going to do is state that we don't actually need all the cards. So we're going to cut off about a third, a little bit less than half, I'd say, because sometimes when you're dealing and all this stuff, 1/3 just seems like a good amount of cards to cut off. Now you're going to tell them we're going to deal down and shuffle, so start dealing down. Remember, our cards are still positioned here at the bottom. And then all I'm doing here is I'm taking some cards back and forth like this, throwing them down, dealing some cards, taking some cards back and forth like this. Now this is shuffling, but it's not really shuffling. And the point is when you get to, I don't know, about, let's say 10 cards, maybe a little bit less here, that's where you're going to want to deal down the rest of the cards like this. And you can make it messy, just to make it look a little bit better, a little bit more smooth. So now we're in the position where the cards are right here on top of the deck once again. So now what we're going to do is we're going to deal our 5 hands of poker. So we'll go ahead and start with our players, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the dealer. 1, 2, 3, 4, dealer, and we'll do this until everybody has 5 cards. And exclaim, we don't need the rest of the deck. Now at this point you can do anything you want because we're already in a perfect position, right? So we have our 4 players and the dealer. You can exclaim if you were to pick up any one of these packs and say, do you think you probably have a better hand than the dealer? Or you can do as I did in the routine, say, you know what, you probably don't trust me because I'm a magician. I'll go ahead and reshuffle the cards. Now, the important part is that you have to pick up the piles exactly in the order that you dealt. So I dealt this pile first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Now what this is going to do is going to leave our cards that we're going to be using in a very specific order so that when we deal out, we get all of those cards. So deal out exactly the same as before. Our 4 players, dealer, 4 players, dealer, and just continue to deal out the cards as such. And this will leave you in the beautiful position where you can then reveal all of the players' cards if you'd like, and reveal that they have some interesting hands. And if you know a little bit about poker, you can talk about who has the better hand here, and then tell them, well, if you think that's a good hand, you should take a look at the magician's hand. Nobody beats the magician. And that is the little faux gambling routine. And I thought this would make a great short tutorial here because it's pretty easy once you know the steps behind it, and it's a killer. I actually was reading Card College Volume 2 when I saw this again, and I thought this would be a great addition to the tutorials. So just in case I did not cover this in enough details, we're going to start with our stack of our royal flush and spades right on top, and this point I'm going to give it a cut step, right? Go ahead, push our thumb down, get that thumb break, and at this point I'm going to transfer to a pinky break. And from this point, if you bow the cards a little bit here, you really cannot see that there's a break in the cards, especially if you're talking, moving around. Go ahead and give a couple of cuts, just like so. And one thing I forgot to mention, there are other multiple, false shuffles. You can even go ahead and give these cards a pharaoh shuffle, just leaving the 5 cards at the top. And this is actually one of my preferred false shuffles, because once you cover it here with those fingers, they can't see that that top portion is not being shuffled in, and it's pretty smooth. But what I did in the performance is I started to peel off, which is necessary for the trick. Peel off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then just kind of shuffle everything on top. And when this is at speed, it looks great. Okay, so now we're in the position where our stack here is directly at the bottom. So now we're gonna say we're gonna cut off about half. You cut off a little bit less than half. And then at this point, we're gonna be talking about how we're gonna do the fake mix. And this is what I wanted to kind of get a little bit of a closer look at here. So all I'm doing is dealing down cards here. And then I grab some cards and mix them top up, top down. And it looks like I'm really doing something, but I'm not really doing much. See, top, just like this. We're mixing all the cards up. And it looks like we're doing something. Once we get a little bit lower here, and I'm cutting it close right there, just gonna deal down the rest of the cards, just like so. And now we're in that perfect position that we need to be with our stack of cards right here at the top, as you can see. And now, as we deal everything out, and I'm going to go ahead and try to make this, I hope everything stays here in frame. I'm gonna try to make sure it does. But as I deal everything out here, being sure to keep track of how many cards you have, okay? If you're not used to playing cards. Now that we have enough cards, we get rid of the rest. And at this point, all I have to do is pick the cards piles up in order, in sequence, exactly as I dealt out. So I dealt player 1, goes on top of player 2 goes on top of player 3 goes on top of player 4, and everything goes on top of the dealer stack. Okay? So now we're going to deal out again, just like so. And everything, because every 5th card is going to be part of it. See? Now we have everything we need for our royal flush. And that's the trick. It's pretty fooling, especially for lay audiences and anybody that doesn't know too much about false shuffles, or really, you can really fool people into thinking that you're tracking the cards, which you are tracking the cards, but not as detailed as they might think. Also, reset is completely simple. You just take all the cards, put them on top. It's this time with the dealer going on top of any other packet. And with that, you are instantly reset to perform this trick again. I hope you guys enjoyed, and see you in the next one.
Magic lovers, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.